Coming up next is DC News number 133. It's going to be a creative musical chairs / bloodbath edition of DC News. We're going to talk about books that have been canceled in the new 52. They've canceled a bunch of them. We're going to let you know what they are. We're also going to talk about some staff changes at the DC Comics. Some writers are moving around from book to book to book. We're going to let you in on that. We're going to let you know what's going on with Constantine and Birds of Prey. They've both changed their writers, like right out of the box as soon as their first issues hit the stands. And we're going to wrap it all up with a new character that's coming out of iVampire, which unfortunately is no longer with us. All that and more coming right up. Here at Alternate Reality, all new comics are 15% off every day for everybody. That's right, all my new comics are always 15% off every day for everyone. All you got to do is stop in here and pick it up anytime during the 7 days that book is new. So be sure to stop off here at Alternate Reality and pick up this week's new comics for 15% off all the time, only at Alternate Reality.
Try something new in your life. Get into DC Comics. And here to help you, it's Comic Book Man and Bo with some comic book news.
James Joyce said, mistakes are the portals of discovery, so come on in. DC Comic Book News, episode 133. Them and us, are we?
Right! Hey folks, Comic Book Man here. Welcome once again to my video outhouse. It's time for
DC News, and this news is covered with blood.
Yes, it is. It's covered with blood. DC News coming to you from this place, Alternate Reality, located at the intersection of 111th and Kedzie in beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood. Alternate Reality, where all my new DC comics and all my new comics are always 15% off every day for everyone. This is a blood-drenched edition of DC News because creators are getting canned and moved and cut left and right and all over the place. And we're going to start off with cancellations. There are more cancellations on the new 52. Bo, what's going toes up?
iVampire, DC Comics presents Deathstroke, Fury of the Firestorm, Savage Hawkman, Ravagers, Sword of Sorcery, Team 7, and Saucer County are all dead.
None of which surprised me because none of those were selling worth a damn. However, what does surprise me is Sword of Sorcery and Ravagers wasn't given a little more time, and Team 7 weren't given a little more time to find an audience. Sales must have been a lot worse on those than I thought. Sword and Sorcery doesn't surprise me. I remember back when Amethyst first came out in the early 80s, back when I was running the Comic Emporium. That book never sold then. In Crisis, they made her blind so they could try to kick sales in the butt. Didn't do anything for sales. Nobody's ever cared about that character, which is too bad because it's a great character for little girls, and they never have worked that character right to appeal to a little girl audience.
Well, she'll be appearing in Justice League Dark from now on, so it will definitely not appeal to little girls.
Brilliant. Okay. So all these books are being canceled, I assume, because of sales, like I said.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Some of the books that were selling poorly to begin with, like Savage Hawkman, and so I guess DC's attitude was bite the bullet. Some of these books, Rob Liefeld hinted about 3 months ago before DC actually made the official announcement. They made this announcement on Thursday, and it was like, all these books get canceled at once, really?
Any word on what's going to replace these books? Obviously, the Vertigo book doesn't matter because of Vertigo, but 52, DC wants to keep the 52 thing going with their schedule. And they're canceling these books. They got to add something to keep 52
They're going to be well loaded in 52 because most of these books will be gone after May. The only thing they've announced was 2 books. One book Gail Simone's working on, one book Art Balthazar's working on. But that still leaves us well short of the concept of 52.
Well, I think the Balthazar's book is going to be a kid's book.
No, it's not a kid's book.
Oh, it's not? It's mainstream?
It's a
changing
mainstream
his
book.
style?
I think he's just writing it. I don't think he's drawing it.
Okay.
And officially, you've got the Superman book, which is not actually on the schedule yet, but we know it's coming.
Man of Steel.
Yeah, and there are rumors about a Justice League International book and a couple other things, but the 52 number, I think Bob Harris sort of massaged it. He said the attitude will be, well, you'll get 52 books from DC a month, but it may not necessarily be 52 titles, which basically means he's lying.
No. Which may not mean they may not be all new 52 books, but there'll be 52 books.
There'll be 13 books.
Like Arrow, like
yeah.
Batman Beyond, like Smallville. Those are not new 52 books, but they're books on the schedule.
So basically, what they're doing is they're counting the digital books that are coming into print. They're counting them as part of the new 52, even though really they're not.
Well, Legends of the Batman, that's a digital book.
Yeah,
and
so is Arrow,
Injustice.
and Injustice, those will be counted as part of the 52, even though they're not really part of the 52.
It'll be easier just to call it the new 45.
Yeah, that would be good.
Let's just do that.
Oh, and we probably have Phase 4 coming out soon.
Yeah.
Speaking of Phase 4, and I just asked you about new books, there is one new book coming out, which you didn't mention. It's going to be spinning out of the now canceled iVampire.
Joshua Hale Fialkoff, the writer of iVampire, he says that one of the characters who is in iVampire is getting their own book, and some other book that DC hasn't named, so he's not leaving DC because he seems to like editorial annoying the crap out of him. But and he also works for other people now, so he just does this on the side. But there's apparently one character in iVampire, not the lead character, that is somewhat popular in the DC offices, and I guess that character is going to be the lead of a new book.
One of the new books that hasn't shipped yet our time is Constantine, and that's already hasn't shipped yet. It hasn't hit the racks yet, but it's already had a creator change.
Constantine and Birds of Prey both were announced with brand new writers. Robert Venditti was supposed to be writing Constantine, and Jim Zubkovich was supposed to be writing Birds of Prey. Those books are already solicited. He already put his orders in, and about a month after those orders went in, they took both of those writers off the books.
Any reason why?
Venditti said he was too busy doing other things. He could work on Justice League Dark and the stuff he's working on in Valiant, and he had to drop it. And so that book will be written by Ray Fawkes and Jeff Lemire. Yes, as if Jeff Lemire doesn't have enough stuff to do, they're going to give him something else to work on. And Jim Zubkovich, they didn't really give him a reason. They just dropped him. And they brought Christy Marks in to write the book, probably because they already knew they were canceling Sword of Sorcery, and they said, why don't we give her something else to do? But it's dumb. You announce the books, and then all of a sudden, you pull the rug out from under them. And with Birds of Prey, it's really weird. Zubkovich put in a proposal for this book.
Yeah.
It was approved by editors. Christy Marks got the book, and she didn't have to propose anything. They said, hi, here's the book, you're writing it. And these books are already shipping on time, so that means it may be before issue 6 when we actually figure out what's going on.
Okay. Finally, we're going to wrap it up with creative musical chairs. We've got people who are moving into books that haven't been canceled that still exist and are still running in the DC universe in the New 52. One of which is Jim Starlin, of all people, on.
Jim Starlin is writing Stormwatch.
That's going to be an odd fit. Jim Starlin has never, I don't think he's ever done anything with Wildstorm.
No.
And this will be the first time he's dabbled with the Wildstorm characters.
It will be. Michael Allen Nelson, who was taking over Ravagers before it got canceled, he's going to be taking over Supergirl. Okay. Justin Jordan, who's working on Team 7, he's going to be taking over Superboy. Justin Gray and Jimmy Palmiotti are taking over Batwing. Fabian says, I'm really too busy to do this stuff. And Sterling Gates, who was one of those guys that DC kind of like shoved out of the window, he's going to be brought back in to write Vibe because Andrew Kreisberg goes, I'm too busy working on Arrow to write a comic, so I'll do the first 2 issues, and then after that, I'm out of here.
Originally, that book was solicited with at least giving you the impression that Jeff Johns was writing that book.
Well, Johns is co-writing it, and Sterling Gates...
He's co-writing the first issue.
Right. Well, Sterling Gates... Actually, the reason Sterling Gates got into comics is because he and Jeff Johns are friends. And so, one of the things that I've heard about DC editorial, people who are tight with certain people don't get messed with. That's why they don't mess with Scott Snyder. Sterling Gates will not be allowed... They will not get in Sterling Gates' head at all because they don't want... Because Johns is going to basically tell them, leave him alone. In fact, I wouldn't be amazed if Johns will be the guy going, I'll be managing this book, and everybody will just stay out of the way.
Well, good. Hope that works out.
Can I bet you $1 that Stormwatch ends up in outer space?
Stormwatch could end up in outer space.
Starlin's thing, man.
Starlin's thing is outer space. I know they've already released the promo cover for that because that's part of DC's April thing, which is the WTF month.
Which we'll talk about in the next edition.
Yeah, they're all like gatefold things, and his roster is quite evident on that cover, and he's changing the roster in the book. So he's going to bring in some other characters other than the ones that have been seen so far.
So check out 134 for our take on the WTF books. But that's it for issue number 133 DC News. That's it. We're finished. We're out of here. We got no more DC News. Go to the Store's website.
Somebody else better take it off a book.
Who?
Nah, it's okay.
Oh, okay. Go to the Store's website. Check out all the news he gives me. Bo!
Yes?
Tell him.
Sarah, tell him. And please, Kara, tell him not to cancel your book.
Well, what do you want on this budget? www.myalternatereality.com.
So go to the Store's website, check out all his news. Till next time, this is Comic Book Man.
This is Bo.
Saying, bye. Bye.
Nice. The Video Outhouse is brought to you by some of the finest people willing to work for free. This is a list of some of them.